Turtle Pokemon are one of the most interesting Pokemon archetypes. They have the distinct advantage of having a shell, which means they do not have to pay any housing expenses, not even property taxes. They're also known for being based on the real-life animals, turtles, tortoises, and even terrapins. These two factors combined make turtle Pokemon one of the most powerful and sought-out types in competitive Pokemon. But all of this thinking about turtle Pokemon has me wondering, just what are the best turtle Pokemon? Now, this was probably the hardest one of these videos I've had to make so far, because there are just so many good turtle Pokemon. With over 10 of them in the game, I had to leave off some really good Pokemon, like this one, and even this one. In the end, I was barely able to narrow it down to a top 5, and to be frank, I barely slept while I was making this video. The guilt of leaving some of these famous turtle Pokemon off of the list was eating me alive. Now, before we get into the list, I have to remind you that this video is ranking these Pokemon by how good they are competitively, not based on their designs or how fun they are to use in-game. So if you don't see one of your favorite turtle Pokemon on this list, fuck you. Number 5 on our list is a Pokemon that you might be surprised to find out I'm not really a big fan of, and that is Blastoise. Now, Blastoise is a pretty popular Pokemon. It's the evolved form of both Squirtle and Wartortle, meaning that it has plenty of fans. But its status as a fully evolved Pokemon also means that at this point in its career, it should be old and mature enough to have developed a code of ethics and honor. Unfortunately for Blastoise, this couldn't be further from reality. That is where my problem with Blastoise lies. His complete lack of sportsmanship and respect for competition. Blastoise, since competitive Pokemon's inception, has always brought his signature water cannons to every event. He's just not very strong by himself, and as a result, he has to resort to outside tool use to see any kind of results. Beyond this, even his weapons aren't enough. Blastoise has been known to use devious tricks such as Mega Evolution and Gigantamax in order to gain an advantage over his more sportsman-like competitors, such as Community Pillar Zebstrika. Now, despite my personal distaste for Blastoise and his methods, the Pokemon VGC Council has deemed his unsavory tactics legal for competition, and he has managed to see some results because of it over the years, meager as they may be. For example, he once won a tournament at the GameStop by my house. Because of this, I unfortunately could not leave him off the list. Loath as I am to say it, Blastoise, you are one of the best turtle Pokemon of all time. If I had to give Blastoise any advice, it would be this. Don't waste this opportunity, Blastoise. Perhaps it may be time for you to look inward for self-improvement. Coming in at number 4 on our list is another fan favorite, Carracosta from Pokemon Black and White. Unfortunately, during the production of this video, I was informed that Carracosta has tragically passed away. He didn't suffer, he went quietly in his sleep of old age over 110 million years ago. He is survived by his friend Staraptor, who tells me that the only thing Carracosta loved more than competing in VGC was spending time with his family. Now, given that he is no longer with us, and also has not been legal for the past 110 million seasons, Carracosta finds himself low in our rankings. However, I am going to give him credit for winning the Paleozoic-era Pangea Regionals with an innovative Carracosta Cradilly core known as Carradilly. I also just can't put him below Blastoise out of principle, as it feels wrong to rank a loving family man under an absolute narcissist like Blastoise. Rest in peace, Carracosta. You will always be remembered as number 4 on this list. Thankfully, our number 3 spot on this list is alive and well. Shuckle is the first real contender for number 1 on this list, and I'm sure those in the know are shocked to see him down this low. But trust me, the only reason he is this low is because the Pokemon above him are just that prolific. Now, to the untrained eye, Shuckle may not look very appealing from a competitive standpoint. Its stats are balanced towards a slow, defensive playstyle, which is never really good in VGC. Now, I've heard rumors and whispers that stall playstyles might be good in some obscure fan-made singles formats that I have to pretend I'm oblivious to because I'm deeply in bed with the Pokemon Company. But in the official and approved VGC metagame, offense trumps defense every time. So if Shuckle's stats, move pool, and typing aren't enough to carry him to victory, what is it that places him so high in the echelons of such a competitive list? Well, it all comes down to the juice. Shuckle is known for producing a delicious juice within his signature red turtle shell. Being an ambitious entrepreneur, Shuckle has taken advantage of his unique abilities to start a successful multinational food and beverage company, Shuckle Culinary Solutions. Shuckle was able to leverage his business know-how and competitive prices to become the official juice provider of the Pokemon Video Game Championships, earning himself a booth to peddle his refreshing wares at every tournament, including Worlds. The impressive profit margins Shuckle sees at these events are a massive victory for Shuckle Culinary Solutions, which, in my opinion, means he's the real winner of every World Championship. No other Pokemon alive can hope to match his record, which earns Shuckle the lowest spot on our Turtle Pokemon podium. Joining Shuckle up on the podium is my number 2 pick for this list, the Pokemon colloquially known as Torterra. Torterra, officially named Mr. Turtle, is from the obscure Wii U cult classic, Pokemon Let's Go Mr. Turtle Chronicles X. Recent leaks have confirmed that in the beta version of this game, Mr. Turtle was actually known as Dr. Doodle, but between the beta version and the full release, he lost his medical license due to a malpractice scandal. Thus, the developers decided to change his name to Mr. Turtle to distance themselves from the controversy, and he then took on the stage name Torterra to further obfuscate his past. Despite his shady history and unsavory dealings, Mr. Turtle has quite the resume. As many of you are already aware, Mr. Turtle very recently became the very first person to beat Pokemon Platinum using only Pokemon, earning himself the title of 2024 World Champion. Now, obviously, Mr. Turtle hasn't been around as long as Shuckle. However, I must stress just how hard of a game Pokemon Platinum is. Cynthia is incredibly dangerous, and if it wasn't for Mr. Turtle's signature Ice Beam attack, even he would not have been able to complete this challenge. It is my firm belief that this accomplishment alone far outweighs anything that Shuckle has done so far, and solidly places Mr. Turtle in second place on my list. However, I understand this is a controversial decision, so if you disagree with me, feel free to let me know in the comments section below. And finally, that leaves us with the best turtle Pokemon of all time. You've probably all seen this one coming, so I won't waste your time with any further suspense. It's Heatran. Heatran is a Fire and Steel type Pokemon that has won the World Championships 2 times. With its respectable natural bulk and great defensive typing, it's incredibly hard to get rid of. Couple that with its great special attack stat, and Heatran is capable of... Hold on a second. Come in? Oh my god. Incineroar, wait, please, I can explain. No, Incineroar, you don't understand, it's a parody. Wait, the real list is right behind you. Well, at least we can say we finally nerfed Incineroar.